had him mulch. I had him mulch everything else underneath over there, anywhere, which we got to go back and fine tune some of the spots, but that's easier said than done. But we got all that down that way, and then we got everything raked out. He said, you can tear the fence out. I was like, well, so that's gonna take me more time because we're gonna have to have it balled up because it's chain link. So I ripped everything over, threw it right here, and then we got some metal over here. And then there's a pond down there. He wants us to clean the pond out a little bit down there. We got all this mulched, all that up there mulched, and we're supposed to do the bamboo over there. But now I'm gonna start ripping up some of these trees. I'm gonna go ahead and rip up next to this so that way he can go ahead and get this cleaned up. So Chris just got here, so I'm gonna go ahead and get him to show him what needs to be done first. Here's some tripod action. So let's try to see what we can't do here. We got this lower side mulched, and then we got this old barn. There's an old gate here, so I'm trying to get to it to clean it up. I'm gonna try to rake all this stuff off of it, and then once I can, just pick this up, throw it over there. He may want me to junk. I mean, he said I don't want nothing out there, so if you want it, take it. I'm gonna rip some of these up. There's some of these I can tear them up, mulch them up, but if I can't, then I'm going to take the limbs that's lower and chop it down because they got a bush hog. So I'm gonna try to get all this cleaned up. I think Chris got the mulcher stuck with a like a big old tree got stuck in it, so he went over and pushed it over. So I got to clean that up, and there's a few other ones. And then there's right here there's a pond, and then we got to clean that lower shelf right there, come back up and then towards his son's house, which there's a lot of debris over there where they pushed up with a dozer, so we're gonna have to clean that up. So But anyway, we're gonna rip up what we can and then see what we can't do from there. You can tell this is the rough side and this is the nice clean side. So I'm trying to make that nice swoop. Now I'm trying to get this higher point right in here, pushed over here. I got Chris over there back dragging, cleaning up. We still got a pretty good ways. We still got all this bamboo to clean up, but that shouldn't take us long. I said, worry about the thicker, harder stuff. So customer wants me to take all like that stuff, and there's a bunch of other stuff I got to take off. I'm trying to get this extra dirt right in here because it's like a 2-inch drop, and it was low side, so I think it's holding water right in here. So once I come in and mulch it, and then I'm gonna come in and back drag over this, back it in here. I'm gonna push this right in here, so that way when it rains, we got rain coming tonight. So we're Thursday night, so Friday and Saturday we're supposed to have rain. So I'm trying to get this to look pretty good. So I'm gonna come in here and back drag it and pack it how it needs to go. So it's not perfect, but because I got big chunks of like all that right there, it's just top side. It's chunks of grass, clods. So I'm trying to put it on the lower side, so that way if it washes off, it'll grow the grass, but it'll fill in the dips. So that's what I'm trying to do, is put that topsoil on top and then pack it down, or try to pack it. Gotta take all that off. I'm gonna grab it, and then this is the second time we'll put a pin like the other side is. He put a pin in it, and it don't matter which way you put it, how you do it. I guess I'm gonna have to put bolts in it, the only way to keep it packed in there. So trying to get this done, but it's gonna look like we're running another day. So all right, so we got this done, got this nice and cleaned up, got the came back through, and this is after hours. I've been here since way before 8 o'clock. He said don't worry about the bamboo because he's now the pond. So we got all that cleaned up down there, all that, got that pushed. There's a lot of stuff that we hit a mattress. So I'm trying to do this, and then he was trying to mulch, but we kept hitting stuff. Got this cleaned up, leveled and packed, and then I'm gonna get this cleaned up, and then I got scrap metal over there, and I got all this looking like butter. Got the gate smoothed up, which when I turn with that new track, it eats it up bad. And then the gate fell off. Got all this, got all that down there. So we got one more day, and you can see all that stuff right there. There's a bunch of stuff I got to get cleaned up. The customer told me there was about 6 deer back here playing, so that's what I like to see and hear. Get all that. So we got one more day, we should be good. So I'm gonna show you this building. It's pretty sick. I'm gonna try to get one but taller. I'd like to get a 10-foot or 12. This building, I got the skid steer in there, and then I'm fixing to move this next to my trailer so that way nobody can steal it. But they're not a bad area. But now it's looking good. Customer's super happy. He said if I can just get rid of all this stuff right here, the fence, both fences on each side, and all this stuff right here. He said it was old chicken pen and storage in that barn. He said it would look a lot better. But apologies, it's kind of hard to record, but also run pole saw. You know, we're moving a lot of junk that's been stored. So I'm doing the best I can with what I got, but I did record some stuff, so it's a little better than nothing. Jamming out here. But we're gonna get this moved out of the way, and then we're gonna call it a day. We got rain tomorrow, which is Friday and Saturday, so we're gonna try to get this cleaned up and see where we got to go from there, and one more day we should be good. Try not to tear the grass up. I got to go get some grease later tomorrow sometime. I got to go pick the 450 up too sometime. Trying to get in here without damaging something. All right, I also want to show you. Me and Chris got lucky. We didn't. We did hit probably a twin mattress, but it was burnt, so it was a lot easier. So I used the excavator to rake it down. But he hit that. It chewed it up a little bit. So we're gonna have to grind those teeth a little better. But I picked this one up before. So we got a round and a flat, and then got all that. I was trying to use this, but I just have to sit down and play with it. Get this cleaned up. I found that out in the field. Wish I had the other side, I'd use it. But since we got rain, I'm gonna take this and put it in the truck. I don't like my stuff getting rained on, especially oil. Man, it makes it pasty. But anyway, we got this, got that cleaned up, and I still got to mulch that left side to kind of, you know, clean the stobs up and clean it up, make it look smooth. But that's what we got on this one, and we'll just have to see how the rain's going to do, and we'll just go from there. See when we can come back. It may be Sunday before, it may be too much rain, who knows, but we'll see what we can do. Well, I may or may not have forgotten my GoPro this morning. So today's Monday, so after that rain we had, it's pretty wet, but we got Chris's trailer. I'm gonna load this up. My dad's coming picking up the scrap. Got that pile and then that pile over there, so we're gonna dispose of this, and Chris is down there next to the pond mulching it up, so we're trying to make time. So we got all that down there. You get that lower side, which I'll show you everything. I'm just showing what we got going on. You can see the pond from here now. It looks good and clean. Got that cleaned up pretty good bit. We found several piles. I had to pile that big pile over there that had where the power company come in, where they put that his son's new place over there. All they did was come in and push stuff over and push their fence up into a ball of brush, so it don't help none. So we got this stuff. I got all the garbage out of it, which this is where an old home site was pushed, I guess. So we got this little shelf right here on the lower side, and then around these trees. Really, I mean, we're already at the property line right over here. So Chris is getting all that done, getting it chopped up, and that pond's looking pretty good. It's pretty small, but not too big. But he's also wanting me to dig some of it up. But we'll just have to see. I just told him to let me come back later on, that way we can get it mulched up, that way we can see what it's going to do. There's a deer feeder that was knocked over, got it moved, that way he can mulch. We got chunks we got to come back and do. Ain't no big deal. So I figured it's already 11 o'clock, so I went and got us some lunch early. That way, since I'm going to be out literally 5 minutes from the house, so go grab the GoPro. So I got in here best I could. I need to come back up here and rip this stuff up. I found out it's a lot easier, even though my head's old, and I call the beater head because it's stage 1 pump. If you rip it out like that and crisscross it, but evenly it out, it shreds it. So you'd think this would take, you know, 30-40 minutes. It'll take less than that because the way I got it crisscrossed and it's thinned out. But the logs, I threw it this way and just kind of made the stumps a little different, so that way when it comes up to it, it would chew the stump first. That's our problem, is that the stumps get sucked up and it hits that center, which I'll show you sometime this week how bad it's beating up the machine. We're gonna have, this year we're gonna have to get a new head. Ain't no doubt about it. All right, so we'll load that up. It's just a little bit of stuff. I'm gonna throw it on the trailer, and Chris is gonna get rid of it later. And then I got my dad coming very shortly to, or I hope, to go get the rest of that. So he's at the chicken houses. He's sharpening the teeth up a little bit. That lower side had a little bit bigger stuff, so I told him, I said, sharpen them up, and that way they'll chew them up a little bit. These things need a bath, pretty bad. Charge up the Eco Dookie leaf blower. Never fails. It's always something I forget to do. There's just so much going on. Heard a bunch of stuff on this thing. Paint cans, and I don't know what kind of pipe this is, but it's thick. Dang it. I'm hoping those are empty. I don't squeeze them and then they have much stuff in them. Got some center blocks in there. Make it where nothing will fly off, at least I hope. Alright, so got that cleaned up, kind of kick stuff around. That new track, man, it just eats the freaking ground up, especially if it's topsoil. So I'm trying to have to clean this up. Got that ready, and I'm gonna move that out of the way, chop some of this stuff off, because I can't get close to the mulcher. But because I don't know if he's wanting to save that build or not. It looks like something's living under there. He said this was for chickens, so he said he may have me to come back after everything's, you know, saves up a little bit more. But take the excavator, we're going to go on this backside. You can kind of see it's pretty thick, and there's a bunch of posts, T-posts and stuff like that. Chris run over 2 or 3 of them and wadded it up, so I'm gonna go over there and clean it up. They also had double wides on that lower side, on that side, because right there where them trees are, right there is where it's like 5 acres, and that 5 acres really right there where them trees are, way over there. It's probably you know, it's thin after all that, but I'm gonna rip up a couple trees. That way it'll kind of thin it out, but that way they can get their tractor in there. So, but got Chris down there, clean the rest of that up, and he's gonna work his way down on the lower side of that pond and get cleaned up. So he's gonna get around them trees. So I'm gonna work on getting that over there. So we got this and all this down here left, so we should be done right at the time that he gets here from work. So and we still got a mulch on the other side of that building. It's literally just a couple swipes and that's literally it. So we're gonna make our way on the other side over here, and then we'll get going from there. I did forget to show, which I got the 450 back yesterday, and cylinder 6 threw a code for offset or something about limiting, offset limiting or limiter or something like that. I'm not sure, but it's pretty much an injector. So I pulled out one of the other injectors, put it in there yesterday, and then as I was going home I blew a turbo boot, which scared the piss out of me. Especially because I boosted and it sounded like the turbo grenaded, but it was black smoking. I got it home, put the pipe on, so, and then drove it yesterday, and then I could tell a big difference between the F250 suspension, well, you can't see it, and versus the F450, which is rough. So I'm thinking about doing a semi setup with a pintle hitch. Since I got CDLs, I think I'll be just barely making it, but who knows. But anyway, let's get down there and get going.